get off here with the tight end. He beats.
What's up, Middle Georgia Dog Pound? Welcome to another edition of the Middle Georgia Dog Pound Live. I'm your host, Brian. Matt, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Good evening. Good evening, Middle Georgia Dog Pound.
Hey, we are here to recap the skin of our teeth win, and I don't even know where that comes from. Maybe that's another colloquialism we can hear from the professor one day of where that comes from, but hey, anyway, we're here and we're going to talk about it and bring you up to speed on everything about the Dogs and what to expect in the next couple of weeks here when we go to Alabama. But Matt, I am war slam out, dude. That game just stressed me out. I thought for sure we were going to lose it, but you were just confident that we were going to pull it off, and bud, we did.
Yep. So I went back and reanalyzed the entire game, and I figured out what the issue was and the disconnect was. Since we were in Kentucky, this is what the problem was. So not only were the fans doing good and they were killing it and they were rocking their team, but I think some of our offensive players may have partaken of this a few times before the game. So it is what it is. But no, being for real. We talked about before the game started on the show. That's a tough place to play for us for some reason. I don't know what it is. For some reason, that place is the place. And it's funny. I liked how the guys on the broadcast show talked about it. In the game, like the last 3 times we've been there, we have scored less than 16 points. It's insane. And past times we talked about, it was the weather or it was the conditions. It just may be a place we struggle with in general. So who knows, man? But it's in the books. It's a W. People can complain all they want to, and all these teams can try to build up their resumes with this, with their big quality wins and putting up 70 points on people. But all that matters right now is winning each game. It doesn't matter. It's about 1 point, and we did that. Won it by 1 point.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I failed to go over our housekeeping tidbits, and I'll just run through them real quick. Hey, if it's your first time on the show, guys, we want to hear from you. Make sure you comment on the show. We definitely want to hear what you have to say. Would love to hear your points of view on the game and what you feel like that where our issues were and what we did good and what we could have done better. Definitely want to hear from you. If this is your first time, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, to give Facebook permission to use your photo and your name so we know who is commenting. If you want to come on the show sometime, if you have a product or a business you want to promote, hit us up at middlegeorgiadogpound@gmail.com. That's middle GA dog spelled like it should be, DAWG pound@gmail.com. All right, with all that said, let's run these highlights and let's talk about this thing.
Strike and attack, strike and attack, strike and attack, strike and attack. We've been saying all week, all week. Blow. Take, first quarter, take, body blows, third quarter, fourth quarter, knockout. SEC opponent on the road, by action. Blow by blow. All week. Blow by blow. Blow by blow. Blow by blow. Ain't no knockout blow early. Knockout blow early. Connection. We stay together. We got all we need. We got all we need. Hear me? Hear me? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Work you on. Work you on. Work you on. Work you on.
In serious business. If you felt like we were on the road, see if we can take advantage and see if we take a shot right now with a quick change of momentum.
Hey, be good. Offense, be good. Offense, keep tough. Keep tough. We play our game. We straight. Play our game. We straight. Let's dominate. Blow by straight. We straight. Blow by blow. Blow by blow. Prepare for this. Prepare for this. Prepare for this. Blow by blow. Blow by blow. They got hands with us. They got hands with us. Ball's on. This is where we take the game back. Take the game back.
We give it to Branson, he tears away, he scores in the end zone, crossing the goal line with a straight-ahead power run, and we've taken the lead at 12-9.
Let's go! We are doing it well. They can't stop me even if they wanted to. They couldn't. They can't stop me even if they wanted to.
Apologize, guys. If you guys heard an echo, I did not turn off the mic here, so my apologies if there was an echo on that video. But let's get into this game, Matt. Let's talk about everybody wants to go to the offensive woes, but I'm going to ask you about defense, man. What did you see with our defense on Saturday that you were happy with? And then number two, I mean, what gives you concerns?
So let's just go ahead and celebrate that defense, right? Those guys, I mean, you say, oh, they gave up 12 points. Those guys won that game for us. I don't care how you put it. Those guys won that game for us. With all they had on their backs, they won it for us. And so, I mean, great things. I mean, you can say what you want to. Walker is a beast. Number 11, because number 1 wasn't good enough. They gave it to him twice. He is a beast, right? He is the number 1 times 2. He is a beast. And I'm telling you also, Raylan Wilson, number 5, is a beast as well. This guy is coming into his own. He sat a little bit last year. C.J. Allen got a little bit of the praise as a freshman. He sat, and he has shown he is ready to be that linebacker. I'm telling y'all, next year we are going to have – this year we have a great linebacking core, but next year is going to be like it was in our first championship season. We had all those great linebackers across that all got drafted. It's going to be that same way next year. So if you wonder why we're still keep getting linebackers, we got like Justin Williams, those guys, because I'm telling you, next year we're going to lose all those guys in the NFL because they are going to be ballers. The Williams guys, we're going to probably lose Walker this year with Williams as well. But I'm telling you, these guys are killing it. They are physical, and they take that mantra of blow by blow. They bend but do not break. Keeping not only out of the end zone, keeping them out of the red zone. And so if you look at it, yes, they scored 12 points. They kicked 4 field goals. But one of those field goals was like 55 yards. I mean, that's insane. These guys the kicker couldn't miss. And so, I mean, those are some factors you guys got to put into it. I mean, honestly, probably the game should have been, they shouldn't even probably scored maybe 6 field goals. And that kind of goes back to some of the negative things here. But, I mean, Everett is getting better. He's improving. He really is. He's tackling better. Humphreys is coming into his own as well. He's becoming that next number 1, number 2 cornerback. These guys are all over the place, and they are good. We could have had even more sacks or even more hits on the quarterback, but they're running. You got to give it to it. Their running backs blocked extremely well when we brought pressure. There were at least 3 times. I rewatched the game. At least 3 times where we had a guy coming in hard and just a little bit of a chip block prevented Vandagriff from having a safety one time, and the other 2 times for getting sacked in the backfield. So those were game-changing saves. Those running backs actually helped, and they ran well too as well. You got to give that to them. Some of the things I'm really concerned about, honestly, is missed tackles up the middle. When the guys run the ball, they're running the ball up the middle. Missed tackles a number of times from our linemen and some of our linebackers coming in, shooting those gaps, hitting the sideways stuff. And my next thing I'm really still concerned about is 3rd down penalties. We had 3 drives that were extended after we got them off the field by penalties. Now, one of them, we know was not roughing the quarterback. We talked about that in the show. I think Paul's even talked about it too as well. That was not roughing the quarterback. I mean, he still had the ball in his hand when he was throwing. When we tackled him, it was terrible officiating to that whole process. But those are my things. I mean, these guys are good. They are really good. And I know at some point they're going to have a touchdown scored on them. It's part of the game. But you got to give it up to them. 4 straight games without a touchdown being scored. So that's just great.
Yep, totally agree. Grady Darcy said that defense was incredible for Georgia. No touchdowns so far and barely crossed our 50. The offense remained vanilla. I think that is designed for Bama, Texas, and Ole Miss coming up. Yeah, I don't know about that argument. I've heard that all week, and to me, it just doesn't hold credence. If you're barely winning the game or you're losing the game, you open the playbook and make things happen. The problem is that you can't call plays that you can't execute, and it seemed to me that we weren't executing anything. So how do you open the playbook up and go deeper in the playbook when you can't even execute your basic plays that we run all the time? So, we'll get into the talk about the offense, but I wanted to show that there were so many videos that I just like, this is so much. I can't even pull it all, but I wanted to show this one. This was what saved the game, guys. Had this not happened, we lose. And I'm going to pause it because I pulled this off of another site where this guy pulled this video, and I was like, yep, you're exactly right. Had he not got this sack, we lose this game. And you're going to see these 3 receivers come open. See them right there. See them over the middle? Wide open. And there is nobody but one safety back there to stop them. Either one of these 2 receivers, they could have thrown the ball to, and they're taking it to the house right here. If they're not taking it to the house, it's within field goal range, and we lose the game. That is the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, Ingram Dawkins had a game for sure. Love him stepping up. I mean, having them missing Markel Williams, missing Warren Brinson, those are big losses. Those are 2 starters you're missing, and we still got pressure on that quarterback. We still were able to make him uncomfortable the entire night. But for all those folks who sit there and said, oh, these guys aren't sharing our stuff. These guys, they shared the entire playbook with this team. But we were able to overcome some of it, so that's good.
Yep, totally agree. Well, you want to talk about our offense?
Oh my gosh, you scared? So
I'm very scared.
I really went through the series. I went and rewatched the game. I know it's so much easier and relaxing when you watch the game when you know you have a win, right? So I rewatched the game with a calm emotions. And Brian will tell you, I was there. We were watching the game together, and first half I really felt like Fred Sanford and Sanford's son hold my chest, coming to see Elizabeth. I thought it was. I was so mad, frustrated. But then we get into the second half, and I totally felt confident. I felt as confident as I did when we beat Alabama in that national championship game. I knew we were going to pull it off. I knew we were going to find ways to win the game and move the ball. So I went through the series and stuff, and I'm telling you, those people out there and Brian alluded to a little bit ago about execution. For those out there who are dog cussing and want to fire Mike Bobo, need to stop. I totally disagree with that argument. The folks who say that he can't win the big game, he loses these games. Well, let's go back and talk about the guy we love so much, was Monken. Monken lost to Alabama. He lost the big game. Monken also struggled with Kentucky in Kentucky those years as well. So there are games we had the same kind of thing, but back then we didn't blame it on Monken. We blamed it on Stetson. So now, talk about Monken was the one who wanted to get rid of Stetson, but we never talked about Monken get rid of him. We didn't blame him. We always blamed somebody else. So the same thing's how it happened with Bobo. They want to get rid of him, and I don't agree with it. I rewatched the game. Beck played poorly. Carson just played very poorly. He was missing receivers. He was late on throws. So if you mean the first series, poor passing. He overthrew easy passes he's made 100 times. So this 99th time he just didn't make it. Second series, and I'll say this for this entire guy, and I'm kind of like John McCackey when it comes to, I don't want to bang on players. But now I know they work hard and they do a lot more than I can ever accomplish on the field, so I don't want to bang on them. But I'm not sure I'm saying his name right. I know it's the Stanford tight end. It's like Urosic. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Urosic. There goes the flag.
Yep. I knew it was going to fall. So it just is what it is.
Urosic was terrible the entire night. I rewatched it. The second series we had where we went 3 and out, that was all due to him. He missed 3 straight blocks on all 3 plays. And it was terrible. He didn't know where he was. So at some point they got him off the field, and it was just dealt, and it was lucky. Thank God. And we started moving the ball in the second half because he was just terrible. And I felt real bad for him. He's supposed to his skill set is blocking, but he couldn't catch a block for nothing. Was missing them all over the place. He looked confused. So I'm just not sure if he's yet got an understanding of the playbook yet.
Well, I was under the belief that he was brought over here to catch passes. And if that's the case, why are we having him out there to block?
Well, he's dropping passes too. So has he caught one yet? He's dropped 3 already?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So going through that, the third series they went through, the defense just showed really well. The fourth series we had, once again, bad passing by Beck. Guys wide open, missing passes, missing reads. The fourth series, right before the half kind of thing, he came out. We had a field goal, moved the ball a little bit, but that was on a turnover. So think about that. We got a turnover. We thought that's what the fumble we had. Thought we were going to go in and put some points on the board. First play was good. Second play was not good. We lost. The freshman made a bad run, and then boom, there we go. We throw a ball to the running back in the middle of the field. He drops the ball. Kick a field goal and move on. We come out of the halftime with the sixth series, and the first play, Beck misses a open downfield pass to Bell. Like that's where I knew I want to start looking into the back tape and really see that Beck was having a terrible day. I'm not sure what it was. He just was off his game for some reason. And I think maybe some of it was, Bobo finally said, "Hey, dude, you got to be a gunslinger this time. You got to, don't be so cautious. Don't work. Just go play your game." I think when they picked the pace up in the game, when they don't try to lull the game out, when they actually play upper tempo, he plays better. He gets on rhythm and stuff. You saw that a little bit at the second half.
It almost seems like he plays better under center too. Do you notice that when he goes play action under center? He seems to get himself in his timing down, and the little out routes, the back shoulder passes that he throws, and when he's snapping from a shotgun, he seems like he can't get that timing down. I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah, and like I said, going back to that series too, I agree with you 100%. I think we were talking about that watching the game. I said we got to do some kind of play action. And when you started doing that, you started seeing the field open up for passes. And you started seeing better passes in that sixth series of the game when we scored that field goal. But you also you saw in that series our running back freshman, Frazier, which everyone loved and praised right for that first game. He showed that he was a freshman during that series, missing blocks, getting bulldozed, running backwards.
Beck had to put him in the right position several times during that series.
And he's going to be a great player.
Move him up. Yeah, he's going to be a great player, but he's
going to be a great
player.
But like I said, this is why he's still third or fourth on the depth chart, because he still can't block, and he's still trying to make more out of something than it needs to be. Sometimes you gotta go forward, dude. Sometimes getting back to the line of scrimmage is what you need to do, because if not, you're going to get a 4-yard loss, which is what he calls us one time. The seventh series, let's just be honest, seventh series was ETN all the way. That guy, he owned that series. He ran the ball 3 times really well. I mean, he just owned that series. And I'm glad Robinson got the touchdown, but he honestly deserved that touchdown. All he did in that game. We've got some comments there. I don't want to interrupt.
John Akaki says there's a residual effect from previous season long gone. I think what John means by that, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, is that this offense has not determined what their identity is going to be, right? We don't know who those playmakers are. They haven't we haven't jumped out and said, okay, this is going to be, Dylan Bell is going to be our playmaker or whoever, and so we hadn't really developed what our identity is. I mean, we know that Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers were our identity in the past. And if we need to get a third and long, we went to Brock or Ladd McConkey. And so who are going to be those playmakers to make plays for us? We don't know yet. And so John Akaki says not SEC ready yet. Yeah, I agree.
Well,
I agree.
You're tough. The eighth series, we started off really well, right? Coming out of the 8th series, we just had a touchdown. We get a 3 and out. I'm telling you guys, we're going to score here again. What happened? The first run was a 8-yard run for Carson Beck. What was the next play? He fumbles a snap. That sets him back.
Totally uncharacteristic of him. Yeah. It seemed like everybody had their worst game, and I guess if we're going to pick a game to have our worst game, I guess this is the one. If we all play terrible and we miss, and even the defense was missing tackles, if we all play terrible and we still win by 1 point, what can we do if we play great?
Exactly. 100%. And so that's just kind of we had some breaks that came our way. People want to talk about it, but the Delp's leap was a fumble. Thank God Arian recovered it. Same time, Arian had a fumble. Thank God we recovered it. They had a couple fumbles that they recovered. So I mean, we're both sides were playing very sloppy, because I think both sides really wanted to hit each other hard, and it showed. In that defense, you got to get to the defense. I don't care what you said. It's 12 points, but it's Kentucky's offense not very good to score 12 points. That defense kept us in that game, and the offense couldn't do squat.
Nope. Grady Darcy says UGA had the same game against Auburn last year. Yeah, I agree. It seems like we have this one game every season. And, like I said, if there had to be a game to where we were going to lay an egg, this would be the one to do it, because we got to be on our P's and Q's. We got to cross every T and dot every I when we go into Tuscaloosa. That is for dang sure.
So I guess my question to you, Brian, is, after this game happens, would you prefer to have this bye week, or would you prefer to play this week?
I prefer to have the bye week, because we got too many defensive linemen that are injured, and we got to get them back. Because, I mean, that Christian Miller, he played every single snap. I think they said something like 63 or 64 snaps. I mean, that's a ton of reps, guys. And, we got to give these guys some break and get these guys healed up and get them ready for Alabama. The only concern I have is that we don't play a lot of night games, right? So, I'm wondering how much that factored into this game, that, we had to sit around all day long and wait on the game to get here. When we're used to playing 12. Yep. When we're used to playing 12 and 3:30 games, and we have to sit around to 7:30. Well, guess what we got to do next week?
Yep.
The same darn thing. And that concerns me. I just don't think we play our best game at night, and that is concerning.
Yep. So I'm with you. I can agree with that point.
John Akaki says Broderick Robinson will be back soon. Yeah, that'll give us some depth in the backfield for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Looks changed after he made his calls. I'm not sure. I don't know what he means by that, but the other thing that concerned me is the fact that you had Kentucky's defense dropping a safety and bringing pressure on almost every single down. And so they were sending 7. We had 6 to block them, and that left one person wide open, untouched on Kentucky's defense, right? And so if you and I, as people that know nothing about coaching football, if we can see that, it makes you wonder, why are we not adjusting to that, right?
Yeah.
So if you're bringing 7, why not spread the field out and make them cover us in space? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. The argument, then the adverse argument to that was, well, we don't want to open our playbook and show Alabama and all that. Well, who cares? They still got to defend it.
Exactly.
Even though we're going to see what we can do, they still are going to defend it. I don't know.
I mean, we have too many plays out of the same formations to know what we're going to play. So I mean, that's not. I'm agree with you. That's not a good argument at all. I mean, we have too many. We have like generically have, say you have 5 formations. You probably have 20 plays out of every 5 formations. So that's a dumb argument if someone says that, in my opinion. I just think that they pushed us in the mouth and we weren't ready for it. We played very conservative, not vanilla, but conservative, because Kirby knows that they play physical. He knows that it's a tough place to play, especially at nighttime. And almost like he knew we were going to struggle. And some of that could have been his influence. Maybe he's telling his guys all week long, oh, you guys got to worry about this place, and he's had it in their head. I don't know. But it didn't look great. But if you go back and look at it, some of the miscues we had were very minor that could be fixed very quickly. And I'm not super concerned about looking the same exact way next week. I think we'll look a lot better. I just think it was circumstantial stuff. So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, Grady Darcy said the fellas had too much Kentucky Kool-Aid, and I agree. Paul said the coaches are human too. He says, was the team ready? You want to say they were, but they just didn't execute. They did not say that. To me, that was the worst performance of the tight ends that I've ever seen us have. And so I went back and thought, well, if our tight ends are playing this bad and they're not blocking to the standard that we need to block, then why are we running 12 personnel? Why are we putting 2 tight ends on the field every single play? Get them off the field. I mean, I was thinking about Lovett. He was making play after play after play. Get him on the field, get the ball in his hand more. I think he only played 16 snaps. I mean, get the ball in his hands. Figure out if he's the one that's making plays, let's get him the ball so he can make some more plays.
I agree.
So I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. John Akaki says Bobo's not getting the respect he ought to. I mean, I get it. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm talking too much.
No, you're not. It's good. I talked the entire time.
I'm talking too much. Oh man, it was just it's frustrating. But we got the win. A win's a win. If it an ugly win, it's still a win, and I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, any other comments? Any other concerns?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit ago. I know you're probably segue into this a little bit, but man, those refs are terrible, dude. We were so flabbergasted by some of these calls and stuff. It got comical at some point. But it is what it is, man. It's part of the game. So as long as it's part of the game, we gotta just accommodate it. So, but we got to segue into that, I guess.
Yeah, Paul told us that we were going to have this issue because experienced referees are gone and they're too dependent on replay to make the decision, and so he forewarned us. He forewarned us. Well, we are 30 minutes in. Let's move on to our next segment and give our good friend John Akaki, the professor, some love here, and let's hear what the professor has to say. What do you think?
Let's do it. New hat. Wow.
Good afternoon, Middle Georgia Dog Pound. This is the professor coming to you from East Macon, doing a little bit of background on Alabama. But before we go there, we're discussing what happened in the Kentucky game and some of the things that the fear of the unknown got the best of a lot of our fans. We were somewhat humbled. We thought we had this roaring offense that was going to put 20 or 30 or 40 points on the board, and they didn't do that. And what happened, a lot of people are wondering, we were undisciplined, completely discombobulated, and it appeared that we didn't come to play. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We did come to play, and it's a tough environment. A lot of our youth, we probably got 30 to 40 guys that maybe that would have been their first real travel to an SEC opponent playing at night on the road, which my experiences has been always difficult no matter what the talent level is and what the competitor's doing. But Kentucky brought their A game. You got to remember they were embarrassed at home the week before at night. They were 0-1 in the SEC. They had the beef and the meat to go against us toe-to-toe. They had inside spies on the defensive side and the offensive side. Brock Vandagriff knew every call, every play, every tendency that our offense would do. He told their defense, same with Dumas Johnson. He knew everything that was going to happen. He knew our formations when we checked out, checked in. He knew our routes. He knew how to defend our offense. He's been playing against it for 3 years. It's tough to do that. Can you imagine having those kind of spies at every school we go to that had insider trading information like that? Besides that, unfortunately, our youth on the left side, our left tackle, Ernest Green, had a very difficult game. But he's being what I would consider wrongly accused. He did make some missteps. He did miss a few blocks. But on the edge, he did okay. But number 11 was there, as well as a few other people, and they made him a choice. You're going to take this guy or that guy. And typically he took the wrong guy, unfortunately, and that put a lot of pressure on Beck to run out of the pocket. Looking a little bit more as far as things go, as far as Kentucky goes, they again are a good team, good coach, and we're glad we snuck out of there with a win. Historically, I think I posted in the last 5 years, we've been held under 20 points 3 times. And on the road especially, and they've all been in Kentucky. So there's no surprise there what happened. Give or take a couple plays, Beck missed Bell over the middle probably for a post-pattern touchdown that might have broke the game open. We had Youssef, our new tight end, 84, missing a lot of blocks on the edge. He is not SEC ready, but he's going to play because Lucky and Delp, we can't wear them out. It's a long season. So we had a lot to face there, and I know we're going to come back against Alabama. We're going to make this shorter today. The professor is going to give you a couple points of interest. Next week, I want to discuss a little bit about Tuscaloosa. I lived there for 3.5 years. I enjoyed that town. a lot of things over there, from Eli Gold, which was their Munson. He retired. They got a new announcer. Bear Bryant, I knew where he lived. I ate in a chair at his restaurant where he got his breakfast every morning. You've got Bromhauer, which was one of their big defensive tackles, paid for the Miami Dolphins during the Dolphins' undefeated season. In 1976, Bromhauer was an All-Pro, and he played against our Dogs in Athens, and we beat the Bear 21-0. That's how far back that goes. Bromhauer Bob has the Victory Grill, which is a great place to eat if you're going to go into Tuscaloosa. The other one is Dreamland Barbecue, but my favorite is Archibald and Woodrow's Barbecue. You find it if you go there and eat their ribs, and they're fantastic. We're going to discuss next week a little bit about push boats, the coal mining over there, the lock system they have, the Black Warrior River, Northport, and ironically, the Tuscaloosa area has a lot of the similarities that Georgia has. They have a Bibb County. They have a Centerville. Instead of River North in Macon, they have a North River there. Gary Player designed both golf courses. It's ironic. But I'm wearing not a houndstooth. I'm wearing a friend of mine's hat who is a big-time Alabama fan. His name was Richard Webster. He has passed on. He was on the Feinbaum show several years ago, but he was a heck of a heck of a guy that I enjoyed being around. Tragically, we lost him, but this is a hat he gave me. I guess this would be considered his bear hat, and it's somewhat like a houndstooth. But I just want to tell you, hang in there. We got a good team, and we're going to play well against Alabama. It'll be a different kind of ball game. They're big, but they like to open it up, and Kentucky didn't have that kind of offense, so they had to play it close, and they disguised coverages. They played a little soft zone. Sometimes they went man, but they changed into it at the last minute to confuse Beck, and they did everything they do to try to thwart us, and they didn't. We got to win, so we're 1-0 in the SEC. I'm going to send this back to the Dog Pound show, and y'all enjoy what goes on in this show. It's rare that we have this kind of show, and we appreciate the show participants. Go Dogs, the professor's out.
Good deal. Good deal. Thanks, John, for bringing that to us. I do appreciate it. A lot of fun each and every week with the professor. That is for sure. That is for sure. Well, we are at that point, guys, that it is the time for Paul's Calls, and I thoroughly love this segment of the show. And let's bust it out. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, this week's Paul's Calls is a little long, but you know what? We got time because we got no game to recap. So I'm going to play every one of the videos that Paul sent to me this week, and I hope you guys have enjoyed as much as I did.
Our first play this week is going to be an illustration of a new rule change for this season. And as we watch the play, the quarterback's going to drop back. He steps up. He throws downfield. The ball is going to be intercepted and returned back for a touchdown. Now, before this change this season, a horse collar tackle was not a foul if it happened inside the tackle box. But from a player safety standpoint, now it's a foul if the horse collar action happens anywhere on the field. And as we see the play develop, there's no question as the quarterback steps up, we see the defender, he grabs the inside back collar of the quarterback's jersey and abruptly pulls him down. So this is a correct call for horse collar tackle. And we define a horse collar tackle anytime a defender grabs the inside back or side collar of the shoulder pads or jersey or even the nameplate area and abruptly pulls the ball carrier down, it's a foul. And that's what we have here. Now, it's important to note on this play also that the foul occurs before the change of possession, before the interception. So the offense will keep the ball, and the 15-yard penalty for the horse collar tackle will be enforced from the previous spot, and it also includes an automatic first down. Play 2, we've got 4th down with less than a yard for the offense, and the line to gain is right at the 1-yard line. Now, the offense is going to run the quarterback sneak. Backfield players are going to push the runner forward, which is legal, and it's very tight. Eventually, we rule the play dead. Now, the defense rips the ball out, but the play was already ruled over. So now they're going to spot the ball and measure for the first down. And we also have a dead ball foul on this play. So as you can see, the offense, they make the line to gain by the nose of the football. And now the flag for the dead ball foul, it was an unsportsmanlike conduct foul on the offense. And we're going to see number 72 of the offense. He goes into the pile. He rips a defender out of the pile and throws him down. And by rule, after the ball is dead, any player using forcible contact to push or pull an opponent off the pile is an automatic unsportsmanlike conduct foul. So the offense had made the line to gain at the 1, but the dead ball foul will move the ball back 15 yards to the 16. But initially we have it listed as 1st and goal, as you can see here, but it's actually 1st and 10 with the line to gain at the 6. So by rule, the penalty for any dead ball foul that occurs after a first down and before the ball is made ready for play, which is what we had here, the penalty will be completed before the new line to gain is established. So it is 1st and 10 here from the 16-yard line, and the crew does correct the chains. Play 3, we see that the quarterback, he's going to throw to the back corner of the end zone, and we're going to get our hatless side judge and our back judge going up with the touchdown signal. Now, the hat off by the side judge signifies that the receiver went out of bounds. And as we go back and take a look, we see that the inside receiver to the bottom of the formation, he runs an out and up. And as he breaks downfield, he's forced out by the defender. Now, if he goes out on his own, he can't come back in and be the first to touch the ball. But if he's forced out by contact of the opponent, he can come back in and legally make the catch. And as we see here, number 6 catches a ball. It looks like he gains firm control, and he gets the left knee down inbounds in the end zone, and the officials do rule touchdown. But replay is going to stop the game to look at the play, and when the player is forced out of bounds, they can come back in and make the catch, but they must reestablish inbounds before touching the ball. And even though this player caught the ball and got the knee down in the end zone, because the receiver did not reestablish inbounds before touching the ball, that last step was out of bounds before he touched it. Replay is properly going to overturn this and make this an incomplete pass. So good job by replay recognizing that the receiver did not reestablish inbounds before touching the ball. Play 4 is a 2-play vignette, and we're going to look at pre-snap actions, which are a point of emphasis for 2024. Now, by rule, the offense, by design, has an advantage of knowing the starting signal, and the defense has an advantage as they're not limited in overall player movement. New rule language this year make it clear that any movement that simulates action at the snap by either team, offense or defense, is a foul. Now, the first play, we're going to see that the defense, they're going to stem or shift. But as they do, we see number 35, as he shifts, he pumps his arms, simulating the start of the play. And from the end zone, we can see that this is a coordinated action as the linebacker, number 18, he gives a hard count and the defensive line shifts. And this is a foul on the defense for delay of game, a 5-yard penalty. And we see that the official explains it to the coach. The coach is talking to his other coaches about this arm pump. And so later in the game, we see another play where similarly the defensive line shifts, but this shift does not have the hand pumping action. It does not simulate action at the snap. And there's a slight flinch by the snapper. So this foul is on the offense for a false start, as the defense did not simulate action at the snap. These differences are very subtle and ultimately a judgment by the officials on the field, but the point of emphasis is designed to get a fair and clean starting signal. Play 5, the quarterback takes a snap. He throws a backward pass out to his teammate, number 4. And number 4 would be allowed to throw a forward pass, but he's going to muff the ball. And then since he's outside the tackle box, he just throws the ball away beyond the line. But we're going to get a marker down from the crew for intentional grounding, as there was no receiver in the area. Now, by rule, we know that It's not a foul for intentional grounding if the passer is outside the tackle box and throws the pass beyond the neutral zone. But this applies only to the player that controls the snap and does not relinquish possession to another player. So this pass, even though thrown from outside the tackle box and it crossed the neutral zone, had no receiver in the area and is a correct call for intentional grounding. Our last play this week is in response to a question we received concerning blocking below the waist and what's allowed by the defense. Now, by rule, defenders aligned in a stationary position within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage within the tackle box can block below the waist on their initial line charge. But no other blocks below the waist are allowed by the defense. And as we see here on this play, the defender is going to step up, take on the lead blocker, and he's going to cut him low. And this is a foul for a block below the waist by the defense. And since the offense scored on the play, by rule, since blocking below the waist is a personal foul, all personal fouls by the non-scoring team on plays that end in a touchdown, the penalty can be enforced half the distance on the try. It can be a 15-yard penalty on the succeeding kickoff, or it could carry over to the succeeding spot in overtime if the game was tied and playing time expired. Well, that's it for
All right. I do appreciate Paul sending those to us. Those were extremely interesting, and I thought that everybody would enjoy those because I sure did. Yeah, we're going longer than I originally thought we were going to go, Mr. Matt. I don't know what has occurred, but we have got to pick it up. That is for sure. Let's go ahead and jump into Crooks Crunches here. Give me 2 seconds and I will get those going for us. I don't know what has happened with my video. I do apologize.
I did want to say while we're waiting, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And we did have a comment that that Paul sent us to us a little bit ago on the backstage that I think I'm trying to remember what he said now was that that the speed was a big difference in that game.
Tackling was terrible,
Yeah,
but team speed was the difference. Yeah,
exactly. I think he's right with that. I mean, that defensive speed was incredible. Even offensive speed. I mean, we got the ball to receivers. You could see how explosive they were. It's just getting to them was the complication.
All right, guys, we are at that point now where we have a few hard hits. This is our Krug Crunches segment. I hope you enjoy these. There were a ton of them, and it's going to be a little bit longer, but just hang in there. They're great.
7 seconds. Riddell to the sideline. Wow, what a hit! Flags all over the field. It's ruled incomplete. No time on the stadium clock.
Dre Butler is standing on the sideline waiting for this throw. He's in the field of play. You can see it happen.
There is no foul for illegal substitution by the defense.
First down at the 48. Locke winding up. Want to go deep. Oh, he got smashed. Woo! What a hit. Number 22, LT Overton, out of nowhere.
And that's how he's been able to have some success so far in this game.
Seems like a rusher. Couple 100-yard games to his credit. Barnes is throwing. White gets absolutely hammered. Almost intercepted and incomplete. Kyrese White got smoked. What a hit.
And obviously the crowd doesn't like it, but look, man, he's walking off the field and jogging off the field now. And
fans love that.
Well, that's a good sign right there.
Teo Johnson, clean hit, partner. Shoulder to the shoulder area. That's a good
attack. Just about everybody able to get involved in a big hit on the perimeter for Tulsa. And Elijah Green.
As a defensive back, those are situations you look for. You get excited about.
In that win at Auburn. Receiver in motion and a play fake on first down. And Mendoza goes down.
Fake. flipped in the flat, and that's Joshua Simon, another tight end that we'll see today. Ball comes loose.
Look at LSU. They never adjusted to the motion. So you got a couple of receivers already out there, man-to-man coverage. There's the ball.
Oregon State held Oregon to a field goal. Zachary Card from 3 yards deep. Betcher's after him. Card gets knocked down. He gets drilled by Dante Manning.
That was a low liner of a kick, and typically when you field it that deep in the end zone.
Pierce Howley pressured again, got hit again, and it was Hubbard again. Hubbard came off the edge. Nobody got him.
Stays on, Preacher back to third down play here for the Aggies. Barnes bobbles it, then gets snuffed out. Slammed down. Tanu Vasa came right in and hammered the Aggie quarterback. Big loss.
Pavia, heavy rush, quarterback sag, ball out. Panthers get on top of it. Isaiah Guy scoops it up, and he goes down at the 20-yard line.
Wow.
He was looking to the opposite side, and there's the pass rush. Kevin Swint, the transfer from Clemson, leveled him and jarred the ball loose.
Good stuff, guys. Those were some hard-hitting plays throughout the week, this weekend, and I enjoyed seeing those. Made my teeth hurt, I can tell you that. All right, we're at the point now where we can talk about some games. Pick'em Challenge, the Dog Pound Pick'em Challenge. I'm at 11-4. Kevin and Matt are 9-6. They picked up a few games this week. I made the mistake of choosing against Alabama, and probably will not do that again. But yeah, so there we are, 11-4, two games ahead of Kevin and Matt. So we are at our first game, which would be Clemson and NC State. Matt, what's your thoughts on this one, buddy?
I think we're really going to be able to see if Clemson's what we think they are, which is a pretty good ball game, a very good ball team. So I'm going to go with Clemson on this game.
Good deal. Yeah, Kevin sent us his picks so that we can keep him up to date on the picks. He wasn't able to be on the show tonight, but Kevin has Clemson winning 42-16. That's a big win. I'm going to go Clemson as well. Clemson's defense is just much better than what NC State's got to bring to the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, I'm going Clemson as well on this one. Let's see. Grady Darcy says 13-10 NC State. Wow. That'll be let's see. Grady also says you better next week. We'll see, buddy. We will see. Guess he's talking about my Alabama pick. Yep. All right. Let's get into the next game here. USC and Michigan. Woo! I'm going to go USC on this one. Yeah, I'm going USC on this one. Michigan's terrible. USC for sure. Kevin has USC winning 48-21.
So I'm kind of with you. I think Michigan's not very good this year, and I don't think USC is a great team, but I think they're improved, and I think they have a good quarterback. So they look better than they have because their quarterback play is better. So I'm gonna go USC as well.
Gotcha. Grady says 38-17 USC. I like it. All right. Louisville against Georgia Tech. Woo! I'm not sure. I haven't watched any of Louisville's games. Kevin says he's going Georgia Tech, 36-21. So I guess because of that, I'll go Georgia Tech. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea on that game.
So I'm going Tech as well. I think this will be a game deciding for how we really analyze how good Georgia Tech is. I think I think some of us are still reeling reeling in, how good are they? They beat Florida State, which we realize now Florida State's not very good at all. They had some struggles there against Georgia State early on in the first half of their game. They did win last week, but I'm telling you, this will be that defining game. Are they really good? Are they solid, or were they just another notch in the state, debacle? So I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech as well, but we'll see.
Yep, Grady says Nerds 24, Louisville 3. Like it. I like it. All right, Utah and Oklahoma State.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What's Kevin say?
Kevin said Utah 32-28. It's going to be a close game. Yeah, I do think it's going to be a close game. Oh, gosh. I hadn't watched any. Well, I did watch Oklahoma State against Arkansas, and Oklahoma State has no defense, and neither did Arkansas. So that could be the difference maker. But I haven't watched any Utah, so I have no idea. Kevin said Utah, so I'm just going to go with Oklahoma State. How about that?
Oh, man. So this is the game that I was struggling with because I think they're still struggling with their Utah's quarterback situation. I just don't think he's healthy. I think is it Rison is his name. So I think when he's healthy, he's supposed to be like the world beater, but he hasn't really been healthy this far this year. And I just don't know. I forgot who's a home team. Do we know? Is it Oklahoma State?
I think Oklahoma State's the home team. Yeah,
I think so too.
That's going to be the difference maker then.
I think I'm gonna go Oklahoma State too. I think I am. I'm just not yet buying into the Utah thing just yet. So this may be one of my iffy ones I get screwed like I did Florida last week. But
hey, well, I'm right there in the same boat, so we'll get screwed together.
That's right. We'll figure it out.
Utes. Grady Darcy says Utes 31, Oklahoma State 27. I like it. All right. Oklahoma and Tennessee. This one's an easy one. I'm going Tennessee all the way. Oklahoma has no offense, and their defense is not going to be stout enough to keep Tennessee from scoring. I'm going Tennessee to win big.
Okay.
Kevin says Tennessee big, 48-24.
So Tennessee hasn't played anybody yet. They can say NC State is there. Was a big. They played there. Tennessee has not played anyone yet, and they're under that spectrum where the other side, everybody's saying we should just show all our plays all the time, and they're showing their plays left and right.
They're showing everything. They kicked an onside kick. They kicked an onside kick in the first quarter when they were winning 32-0 against Kent State, who's like the worst team in college football right now.
And turn out that's going to come back to bite them. They did the same garbage the year they went number one, and they came to Athens, and we skull stomped them across the field. And I'm telling you right now, when this team, I don't think they're going to lose this game. I'm going to go Tennessee too. But this Tennessee team, when they actually face some good defenses, you're going to see how average they really are. And you're going to see how good they are. When they play some good offenses, you're going to see how average that defense really is. So I'm warning everybody now. I picked Tennessee to lose 3 games this year, and I could be wrong, but I'm telling you, it is coming because they are too confident in themselves, and it is going to be interesting when that train comes down that tracks and hits them square in the face.
Grady says, Grady says Mustard 44, OU 41. Bottles rain down and goalposts come down. Fun. Well, that is it, guys. That is it. We are at that point where we have hit our time at 9 o'clock. Matt, we did it. I cannot believe it, man.
Woo!
Cannot believe it. Well, any final thoughts, Matt, before we sign this thing off?
The only thing I would say I want to see improvement this off week. It's 2 things. One thing offense, one defense. Defense, really the penalties is something we got to look at. Penalties
Oh, yeah.
continue to be a struggle for us. And we always talked about that about Alabama's teams, how they were lose games because the penalties mean you have discipline issues.
Yep.
And so undisciplined. So we don't seem undisciplined. It seems like some of it is just some bad calls. We can't put ourselves in situations like that. The other thing is offensively, Beck has to start sliding. I'm getting sick. And I appreciate him thinking it'd be tough, but you saw was one of the last plays of the game. What's he doing again? He's diving forward, lands on that shoulder, and he's all struggling all of a sudden.
Yep.
He has to learn to slide. He truly has to learn, especially in the fourth quarter when you're icing stuff. You're not going to get the first down anyway. Just go ahead and slide, buddy. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So that's things I think we should work on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Grady says get healthy. That's what he wants to see. I agree.
I agree. Yep.
We got to get healthy. All right. Well, guys, we'll be back next week, and we will be here to recap to get us ready for Alabama, and we will have everything lined up and ready to go. It'll be the full Dog Pound crew here getting you ready. But boy, the weekend obviously we're going to do that, and we're going to enjoy this beautiful weather that's going to be going on this weekend. I'm going to try to catch a game or two, but we will be right back here next week, and the full Dog Pound crew will be here. Well, I'm Brian, it's Mr. Matt, and Mr. Kevin playing pickleball or whatever he's doing. We're the Middle Georgia Dog Pound. We love you guys. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.